No matter what year or body style Wrangler you have, cargo storage space on the interior is always at a premium. So being able to utilize an otherwise unutilized space on the outside of the vehicle to carry some extra cargo is always a good idea. Today we're going to talk through the installation of this kit, which is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrenches and can be done in under an hour, but we'll talk more about that installation in just a second. Now there are a couple of different carriers that will attach in the same location as this, some that will attach above the spare tire, and of course you also have a receiver mounted basket that you can use for carrying any number of items. However, this is specifically designed for a NATO or a jerry can style fuel or other liquid water carrier. That's going to fit specifically into this little container here, into this tray. It's going to come with a strap, it's going to come with a mat, and it's going to hold that exactly where it goes, making sure that it's not going to move around. Now, the one thing you do have to be concerned with is weight. Now, the factory spare tire carrier is designed for a factory size spare tire. If you are running a larger spare tire on that factory mount, you're already going to be taxing that a little bit. So when you add additional weight by adding a bunch of liquid and the weight of this mount itself, you can be putting even more stress on the factory spare tire carrier, the factory hinges on your tailgate, or the tailgate welds themselves, which are known to break under some additional stress. It's important that if you are going to be using this, you know about those additional stresses, or you go ahead and mitigate those additional stresses by attaching this to a tub mounted or even a bumper mounted tire carrier system. As far as construction, there isn't much to this kit. It's no frills, it just works. It's exactly what you need to get that jerry can or NATO can mounted on your spare tire location. Of course, you have this plate that's going to get sandwiched between your spare tire carrier and the back side of your spare tire. This part here is going to attach onto the mount, and finally the tray gets bolted onto that. As I said before, it comes with a rubber mat on the bottom to keep the can from chafing the powder coat off of the tray, and it does come with a ratchet strap as well to make sure that the can stays in place and doesn't bounce out. Now this is available with the tall tray that you see here and also a shorter tray. I think the tall tray is a little bit more secure, just being that it has those taller sides to it, but the option is completely up to you. This is also designed to be installed and removed pretty easily. This part here would stay between your spare tire mount and your spare tire, but with one bolt you can go ahead and remove the rest of the mount, which would include the tray, if you did want to remove it and just have this small little piece here sticking through the center cap area of your spare tire. Like I said before, the install for this kit is going to be a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench installation that you can get done in under an hour. The first step is going to be removing the 3 lug nuts that hold your spare tire in place and removing the spare tire from its mount. From there, you'll slide this plate over top of your 3 spare tire mounting studs and put your tire back in place. Of course, you are going to have to remove whatever center cap you may have had on your spare tire, or if you have a third brake light mounted there, you are going to have to come up with another solution because this bracket does stick through the center of that spare. Once this piece is in place, you have your spare tire back on, you can go ahead and torque down those lug nuts, you're done with removing the spare tire. Then all you need to do is, in whatever order you choose, either connect the tray to the rest of this bracket or put the rest of the bracket on the Jeep and then bolt the tray down. Again, it's completely up to you. And then you lay your rubber mat in here, put your jerry can or NATO style fuel can on your new tray and ratchet strap it down. The whole process is very simple. This is something anyone can do in their driveway in about an hour with just a socket set. This kit is going to come in at right around $130, and the one with the short tray is going to be a couple of dollars cheaper just because there's a little bit less material there. And for the build quality that you get from this kit, which is something we've grown accustomed to with MORryde, they build a really high quality piece. I don't think $130 is a bad price. Now, I do think it's important to consider the additional stresses and the weight that you're going to be putting on a factory spare tire carrier, but if you already have an aftermarket tub mounted or tire mounted spare tire carrier, then this kit is going to be a really nice way to utilize otherwise unutilized space, and I think it is a good buy. So if you're looking to be able to carry a NATO style or a jerry can style container of either fuel or water, and especially if you're carrying fuel and you don't want it on the interior of the Jeep, or you just don't have room on the interior, this is a good way to add some cargo space to the spare tire area on your Jeep. So that's my review of the MORryde spare tire jerry can holder with either tall or short tray, fitting your 1987 and up Wrangler, that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.